In 1903, a man named Frederick Gates wrote a document, one page, one mission. He called it the Country School of Tomorrow. Gates was not a teacher. He was not a scientist. He was the business advisor to the richest man in the world, John D. Rockefeller. And the document he wrote contained one sentence that changes everything you believe about your school, your grades, and your future. In our dreams, we have limitless resources, and the people yield themselves with perfect docility to our molding hand. That sentence is 120 years old, and it is the blueprint of the classroom you are sitting in right now. Stanford researcher Dr. Yong Zhao spent 15 years studying global education systems. His conclusion: the modern school was never designed to make you smarter. It was designed to make you useful. There is a difference. And by the end of this video, you will never look at a report card the same way again. Section 1. The factory floor. Here is a question nobody ever asks you in school. Why does the bell ring? Not metaphorically, literally. Why does a bell tell you when to think, when to stop thinking, when to eat, and when to go home? You have been inside a building for 12 years. The bell has rung thousands of times, and you have never once questioned it, because you were not supposed to. Before 1900, American schools were small, decentralized, and wildly different from each other. Kids learned farming, trade, philosophy, rhetoric, whatever their community needed. Then the Industrial Revolution arrived. Factories needed workers, not thinkers, workers, people who could show up on time, follow instructions, repeat the same task without complaint, and not ask why. Rockefeller's General Education Board, funded with what today would equal $600 million, did not build schools to produce inventors. Their own founding documents said the goal was to train the workforce for the perfect industrial and commercial machine. They literally designed the school around the factory floor. Same bell as the shift change, same rows of seats as assembly lines, same punishment for individuality as a factory floor supervisor would give a worker who stopped the conveyor belt to ask a question. You were not placed in those rows to learn. You were placed there to practice obedience. And here is the payoff that will sit with you. The most dangerous student in that system was never the one who failed. It was the one who questioned. Section 2. What they decided you would not learn. In 1917, a standardized intelligence test was designed for the U.S. Army, the Alpha-Beta test. Within 5 years, it was inside American schools. This is not a coincidence. The test was not built to measure intelligence. It was built to sort people, quickly, cheaply, into categories. Who goes to the front line? Who goes to logistics? Who gives the orders? Who follows them? Stanford psychologist Lewis Terman, creator of the Stanford Binet IQ test, wrote in 1916, "The children of successful and cultured parents test higher than children from wretched and ignorant homes. The racial stocks that are mentally superior do and should naturally rise." That is the intellectual foundation of your standardized test. Not curiosity, not creativity, not the ability to solve a problem nobody has solved before. Just, can you be sorted quickly? Dr. Ken Robinson, who gave the most watched TED Talk in history, over 72 million views, spent his career proving one thing. Schools are not failing at their purpose. They are succeeding at a purpose you were never told about. The purpose is to produce grades, compliance, and fear of failure. Because a person who is afraid to fail is very easy to manage. Here is the context you need to hold on to. Creativity is not taught in school. It is survived. Every child entering school at age 5, Robinson found, tests at genius-level divergent thinking, the ability to find multiple solutions to a single problem. By age 10, that number drops. By age 15, it collapses. By adulthood, only 2% of people retain it. The school did not build that. The school destroyed it. Section 3. The grades trap. You have been told your entire life that grades measure intelligence. They do not. Here is what they actually measure. In 2019, a University of Michigan study tracked 81,000 students across 12 years. The students with the highest GPAs were significantly less likely to start companies, less likely to hold patents, and less likely to be identified as creative leaders by their own peers. The students with the highest GPAs were the ones who had most completely internalized the rules of the system. Think about what a grade actually rewards. Not original thought. Original thought is risky. Not questioning the material. Questioning earns you a note in the margin and a lower participation score. Not depth of obsession. Depth only counts if it is in the syllabus. A grade rewards one thing: compliance with the expected answer. The student who writes a brilliant essay arguing the opposite of what the textbook says will get a lower grade than the student who perfectly restates what the teacher already believes. Not because the teacher is evil, because the system was designed to produce agreement, not thinking. Elon Musk said it plainly: don't confuse schooling with education. He did not drop out because he was lazy. He dropped out because he saw the trap. And here is the payoff. The grade is not feedback about your mind. It is feedback about your obedience. Those are not the same thing. You have been grading yourself wrong your entire life. Section 4. What the highest performers actually did. Now here is the part that changes everything. Richard Branson, dyslexic, failed school. His headmaster told him he would either end up in prison or become a millionaire. He became both, briefly, and then just the second one. Steve Jobs dropped out of Reed College after one semester. Then he broke back in, unofficially, and spent 18 months taking only the courses he was obsessed with: calligraphy, typography, philosophy. Years later, the Mac became the first computer with beautiful fonts. Jobs said that moment in the calligraphy class, the class that counted for nothing on any transcript, changed the world. Da Vinci never finished a formal degree. Darwin was considered an average student. Einstein failed his university entrance exam the first time. The pattern is not that smart people escape school. The pattern is that the people who change the world refuse to let the school's definition of their value become their own definition. Dr. Carol Dweck at Stanford, and this is where the intro connects back, spent 30 years researching what separates the people who break through from the people who stay stuck. Her finding: it is not IQ, it is not grades, it is a single belief. Whether you think your intelligence is fixed, or whether you believe it can grow. Schools teach fixed. Every grade is a verdict. Every red mark is a judgment. Every exam is a sentence. Dweck's research showed that students who were told, "You're so smart," after succeeding, actually became more afraid of failure, not less, because their identity was now attached to the result. The students who were told, "You worked hard," kept going, kept failing, kept growing. The system accidentally taught you that your worth is a number. The highest performers in human history rejected that before they were famous. Remember the sentence from the intro: the people yield themselves with perfect docility to our molding hand. Frederick Gates wrote that in 1903. And here is what nobody tells you. The system worked exactly as designed. Not because you are weak, because it was engineered with precision, funded with Rockefeller money, built on Army sorting tests, and perfected over 120 years. You are not a failed student. You are a successfully processed product of a system that was never built for your growth. The good news, and this is the part that should sit in your chest right now, is that awareness breaks the machine. The moment you understand that the bell was built for a factory, you stop letting it define your worth. The moment you understand that your grade measures compliance and not intelligence, you stop letting it measure you. The moment you understand that the most dangerous student in that system was the one who questioned, you realize that questioning is not a flaw. It is the only thing that ever changed anything. Stanford's Dr. Zhao said it in one sentence. The goal of education should be to produce people the world has never seen before. The current system produces people the world already has enough of. Your school was never your enemy, but it was also never fully on your side. Now you know the difference.